Good morning, FCF. We are at the end of our 8-day journey where we're looking at Old Testament women of faith. And we come now, we're going way ahead in time. From last week, we were in 1 Samuel 25. We were looking at David and Abigail. Today, we're all the way into the Persian era, which is about 500 and some years later. The Israelites have gone through the Babylonian captivity, come back into their land, rebuilt their temple. So a lot has occurred. And at any rate, the Persians are ruling, and there is an interesting series of occurrences. The king of the time was a guy named Xerxes, not to be confused with Jerxes, but he's throwing a party, and it's a big spread. This party goes on for 180 days. He wanted to show off his wealth and so forth. And in the midst of the party, he asks that his wife, Vashti, be brought forth. He wanted to show off her beauty. And she tells him no, she doesn't want to be treated like an object. And so the Persian men get around the king and they say, in essence, they say, dude, you can't let this fly. You've got to do something. If you let this go, every woman in the Persian Empire will disrespect their husbands. You have got to deal with Vashti. So they make a suggestion. Can her, kick her out of being the queen, and you go find a new queen. Go find the best looking young virgins in the whole Persian Empire, have a beauty contest, and you pick a new queen. Well, Xerxes goes for it. Vashti's out, and he goes on his search for the new queen, and they come across this girl named Esther. Now, they don't know she's Jewish. They just know she's got the look. So they're looking through lots of these beautiful women. They give them a whole year where they've got to be tested and given beauty treatments and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the contest, though, Esther wins, and the king wants to marry her and does, brings her into court. Now, she has an uncle named Mordecai, and Mordecai is always kind of hanging around the court, and he knows some things, and he actually saves the king at one point from an assassination attempt. He hears the dialogue, and he reports it to the king, saves the king's life, but it all gets forgotten. I mean, he's just this Jewish guy hanging around. Well, anyway, there's this guy named Haman, and Haman hates Mordecai because Haman wants everybody to bow down to him. Haman was the king's right-hand man, and Mordecai would never bow down to him. Mordecai bowed to his God and his God alone, being a Jew, and Haman couldn't take it. So he comes up with this idea. He goes to the king and he says, you know, you got these people living in your empire, these Jews, and they're very resistant and rebellious. King, it's not safe to keep them there. Give an edict that will allow us to just purge them on a given day. We're going to just kill them all. And the king is kind of a wishy-washy guy. He says, okay, Haman, you think it's good, do it. Well, Mordecai hears about this plot, and the plot was literally to annihilate every Jew in the Persian Empire. This would have included the Jews that were back in Jerusalem living. And so he goes to Esther with this report, and here's the way it goes. And I'm reading from Esther chapter 4, verse 12. When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, this is after Mordecai went to Esther and he said, you've got to do something about this. You're the queen now. You need to let them know you're a Jew and you need to take action. So that's what had occurred. I should have added it in. When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he sent back this answer. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to royal position for such a time as this? What a powerful thought. Verse 15, then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai. Go gather together all the Jews who are in Susa and fast from me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days or nights. And I and my maids will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the king's law, and if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went away and carried out all Esther's instructions. Well, the story goes on that, she exposes Haman, wicked Haman's plot to kill all the Jews. The king instead executes Haman. He allows the Jews to be free to fight for themselves. And this is how the Jewish Feast of Purim first started. Jews still observe the Feast of Purim to this day. And it all started from here. Now, the real thing I wanted you to see is this unexpected hero, this simple Jewish girl, She took the beauty that God had given her and she leveraged it for the cause of God. She didn't use it to save her own skin. She didn't use it to make her own life more comfortable. She risked life and limb to save the people of God. Beauty, whether it's intellectual beauty or whether it's talent or whether it's physical beauty, all these things are gifts of God that should be leveraged to be a blessing to the kingdom of God and a blessing to people. We live in a culture that worships beauty, and those that have beauty in various areas tend to end up worshiping themselves and using it exclusively for themselves. Esther is a wonderful example that whatever beauty we may have in our lives, it's to be used to honor God and to bless His people. I hope this journey of Old Testament women was interesting to you, and I hope maybe you'll pass on some of the information to others. Thank you so much.